Good evening everyone, this is Jaimini Astrology channel. This is another episode related to Mandook Dasha in Jaimini Astrology. Obviously, Mandook Dasha is one of the conditional dashas which we use in Jaimini Astrology. In today's episode, we will establish the order of Mandook Dasha on that particular horoscope. We will count the Mandook Dasha periods. We will go over all the main rules which are applicable to Mandook Dasha in practice. Okay? So, where shall we start? Okay, we've got a horoscope in front of us. As we can see, the Lagna falls in the sign of Vrishabha or Taurus. So, from the beginning, Taurus or Vrishabha is the even sign. In that particular scenario, we will start our Mandook Dasha from the 7th house, because Lagna falling in Taurus or Vrishabha is an even sign. Okay, so we will start our Mandook Dasha from the 7th house, which falls in the sign of Rishika or Scorpio. Now we're just trying to establish the order of our Mandook Dasha. So, as I've said, the starting point of Mandook Dasha will be the 7th house falling in Rishika, in that particular horoscope. What will be the order of Mandook Dasha? The order will be indirect, meaning that we will go anti-clockwise in order to establish another Dashas in Mandook Dasha. Okay? What do I mean by that? We start our Mandook Dasha from the sign of Rishika. So the first Mahadasha will be that one of Rishika. Remember that Mandook means a frog, and frog leaps 4 squares. Yeah? From the sign it resides. Yeah? So the first Dasha will be that of Rishika. The second Dasha will be the Dasha of Simha or Leo, because this is the 4 signs away from Rishika. Yeah? And we are going anti-clockwise. Okay? While establishing the order of Mahadasha. Then the third Mahadasha after the one of Simha will be the Mahadasha of Vrishabha. Okay? And then the fourth Mahadasha will be the Mahadasha of Kumbha or Aquarius. Okay? Then we finished one cycle. We need to start another one. Okay? So then the next Mahadasha, after we completed the Mahadasha of Aquarius or Kumbha, will be the Mahadasha of Tula. Sorry. Yes. Then another Mahadasha after completing the Mahadasha of Tula or Libra will be the Mahadasha of Karka or Cancer. Then the next one will be that of Aries or Mesha. And the next one will be the Mahadasha of Makara or Capricorn. After completing the second cycle, we will just go to the last cycle, yeah? And we will, after completing the Mahadasha of Capricorn, or Makara, we will start the Mahadasha of Kanya or Virgo. Then the next Mahadasha will be that of Mithuna or Gemini. Then from Gemini we'll go to Meena or Pisces. And the very last Mahadasha in the Mandook Mahadasha order will be the Mahadasha of Danu. Yeah? Okay, so let me clear that picture a bit and quick recap. Okay, first of all, starting from the very beginning, is that Mahadasha, is that particular Dasha, which is Mandook Dasha, is at all applicable to that particular horoscope? And if it is, why? So let's have a look. Mandook Dasha, I'll repeat, Mandook Dasha is applicable if we've got at least 4 grahas in our horoscope falling in the K.N.Rao houses. Yeah? So first of all we need to find out if we've got suitable amount of grahas in K.N.Rao houses in our particular horoscope. K.N.Rao houses are obviously the 1st, the 4th, 7th and 10th. Yeah? If we're talking about grahas, planets, we do not consider Rahu and Ketu. Yeah? We exclude them when we're talking about grahas which we need to find in our K.N.Rao houses. Yeah? Rahu and Ketu are excluded. Yeah? So we'll take into consideration only the 7 grahas, starting from the Sun ending with Saturn or Shani. Okay, so let's see what we've got here in our 4th house. We've got 1 graha which is Chandra, yeah, or the moon. Okay, 1st house, obviously it's empty. 7th house, it's empty. Our Lagna is in Vrishabha or Taurus. But let's have a look what is happening in the 10th house. Yeah, in the sign of Kumbha or Aquarius. We've got another 3 grahas here: Buddha, Mercury, Surya, Sun and Shukra or Venus. So the condition is fulfilled. We've got at least 4 grahas excluding Rahu and Ketu found in K.N.Rao houses in that particular horoscope. So from that we know that Mandook Dasha is applicable to that particular horoscope. Now we'll be counting the years for particular Mahadashas. Okay, so let me just clear that picture a bit. Okay, let me just rewrite the name of grahas here. So we've got also Surya here in the 10th, obviously, and we add Buddha or Mercury as well, yeah, because I've erased that. Okay, let me clearly clean this one bit. Okay, and we'll start counting our Mahadasha periods. Okay, alright, so let's begin. As I've said before, the Lagna falls in an even sign, which is Vrishabha or Taurus. So we start our Mandook Dasha from the 7th house of Rishika, and the first Mahadasha will be that one of Rishika. Here Rishika is an even sign, so we need to find the owner, the lord of Rishika, which is Mars or Mangala. Here we do not take into consideration Ketu as a co-ruler. Will be counting up to Mars. So we've got the sign of Rishika or Scorpio. This is an even sign, so we will count anti-clockwise up to Mars. We'll see how many places, how many signs Mars traveled from the sign he rules. Okay, so let's count anti-clockwise from the sign of Rishika to establish the length of the first Mahadasha in years. So we've got Rishika, then we've got Tula, which is Libra. We see our Mars or Mangala is here. Yeah, so he moved 2 places, yeah, 2 signs from Rishika. So the first Mahadasha of Rishika will consist of 2 years. Okay, then after the Mahadasha of Rishika, don't forget Mandook means a frog, and frog leaps, jumps 4 squares away, yeah, from the previous place, yeah, or the place it's been. So we finished counting our Rishika Mahadasha, so the next Mahadasha will be that of Simha as we go anti-clockwise. Yeah? So we arrive at Simha, which is Leo. Then obviously we need to find the owner of Simha, which is Sun or Surya, and see how many signs or houses the Sun traveled from its own sign. Okay, here the sign of Leo or Simha is an odd sign, so we will count clockwise. Yeah, so we can see, okay, we can see that Surya or the Sun has moved 7 signs or houses away from Leo, and it is found in Kumbha or Aquarius. Here you need to be careful what the Jaimini rules, which we apply to Mandook Dasha, tell us. In such particular situation, when we found the owner of the sign, 7 signs or houses away from the sign it rules, then we don't give the 7 years, but instead we will give the 10 years, yeah, for the Simha Mahadasha. That's the rule. If we find the ruler of the sign 7 places away from its own sign, then we do not give 7 years in that particular scenario, but we do give 10 full years. That's the exception, yeah. So we need to be careful, yeah, in such circumstances. Okay, so we established that the Simha Mahadasha or Leo Mahadasha will consist of 10 years. Then we will go to our next Mahadasha, yeah, which will be Vrishabha or Taurus. Yeah, here Taurus is an even sign, so we'll be counting anti-clockwise, yeah, to its ruler. Let's count. So this is Vrishabha, then we've got Mesha, we've got Mina, and then we've got Kumbha or Aquarius. We found the ruler of Taurus, which is Venus in Kumbha. So Venus traveled 4 signs away from the sign it rules. Yeah, so Vrishabha or Taurus Mahadasha will consist of 4 years. Okay, and then we will count the last Mahadasha in that cycle, which is the Mahadasha of Kumbha. Yeah, Kumbha. Here we need to find how many signs, houses, places the owner of the sign of Kumbha or Aquarius traveled away from its own sign. Yeah, the sign which Shani rules. Okay, so we will count. Yeah, we count in clockwise direction because Kumbha Aquarius is an odd sign. So we've got here Kumbha 1, Mina 2, Mesha 3, Vrishabha 4, Mithuna 5, Karka 6, Simha 7, Kanya 8, Tula 9, Rishika 10, Danu 11, and then we arrive at Makara or Capricorn, which gives us 12. We find Shani here, 12 houses away from the sign of Kumbha or Aquarius, which he rules. So the length of Aquarius or Kumbha Mahadasha will be that of 12 years. So we finished the first cycle of counting, yeah, the length of particular Mahadashas. So we finished at the sign of Kumbha. Then we need to establish what will be the next Mahadasha in order. Let's have a look. We've got the sign of Kumbha or Aquarius, and we need to find another sign which is in trine to that sign of Kumbha. Yeah, so we obviously count in anti-clockwise direction. Yeah, so the next sign in trine from Kumbha is obviously that of Tula or Libra, and that will be our next Mahadasha. Okay, Mahadasha of Libra, and we'll be counting the years, yeah, for Mahadasha of Libra. Okay, so we see Libra is an even sign, so we need to figure it out how many signs the owner of the sign, which is Venus or Shukra traveled, yeah, away from the sign of Tula or Libra, which Shukra owns. So let's count clockwise. Libra or Tula, Rishika, then Danu, next Makara, and then Kumbha. We have found that Shukra traveled the five signs. So the length of Tula Dasha will be that of 5 years. Okay? Because Shukra, the owner of the sign, has traveled the 5 signs or houses away from the sign of Tula, which Shukra rules. Okay? So we counted the years for Tula Mahadasha. Then the frog leaps 4 places away. Yeah? So the next Mahadasha will be that of Karka. Yeah, we go anti-clockwise. Karka or Cancer. Cancer is an even sign, so we need to count also in anti-clockwise direction how many places, how many signs or houses the owner of the house has moved away from the sign it rules. Yeah, so let's count. Karka 1, Mithuna 2, Vrishabha 3, Mesha 4, then Mina 5, Kumbha 6, Makara 7, Danu 8, yeah, Rishika 9, Tula 10, Kanya 11, and Simha 12. So Mahadasha of Karka will consist of 12 years. Okay, we completed the Mahadasha of Karka, then our next Mahadasha will be that of Mesha or Aries. Okay, so we need to count in. We'll be counting clockwise, yeah, because Aries or Mesha is an odd sign, so we need to count how many places the owner of the sign, Mars, traveled, yeah, went away from the sign of Mesha which he rules, yeah, so we can see that our Mars is found 7 signs or houses away, yeah, from Aries or Mesha. So remember, this is an exception when we use Mandook Dasha when it comes to Mandook Dasha. So we've got the ruler of the sign of Aries or Mesha found 7 places away from its own sign. So in that particular case, we do not give 7 years, we just do give 10 full years as the length of the Mahadasha of Aries. So our Mahadasha of Aries will consist of 10 years as this is an exception. Yeah, okay, I believe it is clear. Yeah, and then we'll go to the next Mahadasha after completing that Mahadasha of Mesha or Aries. So the frog leaps 4 signs or houses, yeah, away from the signs it resided. Okay, so we're counting all the time, yeah, anti-clockwise, yeah, anti-clockwise. So we arrive at Makara or Capricorn, yeah, and in that situation we see that the owner of the house, which is Shani, falls, yeah, in its own house, which is Makara or Capricorn. In that particular scenario, we will give 12 full years, yeah, as the length of Mahadasha of Capricorn or Makara. Why? I'll repeat once again, because the owner of the sign is found is in its own sign, yeah, here Shani in Makara or Capricorn, yeah, so in that situation we give 12 full years and the Mahadasha of Makara will consist of 12 years. Okay, we completed the second cycle, yeah, while counting our Mahadasha years. Okay, so what will be our next Mahadasha after completing the Mahadasha of Makara or Capricorn? Here we've got our Makara. Obviously we need to find the next sign in trine, okay, from that of Makara. So we're counting obviously anti-clockwise, so we arrive at obviously Kanya or Virgo, okay, and we'll count our Mahadasha of Virgo. Right now we arrived here at Virgo. Virgo is an even sign, so we'll be counting anti-clockwise to find its ruler, which is Buddha or Mercury. Yeah. So let's count from Kanya 1, then we've got Simha 2, Karka 3, Mithuna 4, then Vrishabha 5, Mesha 6, Mina 7, and then Kumbha 8. We see the ruler of Kanya or Virgo, Buddha or Mercury, 8 signs or houses away from the sign of Kanya. So our Mahadasha of Kanya will consist of 8 years. Simple. Okay? Then we've completed our Mahadasha of Kanya. So we have to jump 4 places away, yeah, in anti-clockwise direction, and we'll land where? In sign of Mithuna or Gemini, and we'll count the Mahadasha years for the sign of Mithuna. Yeah. So again, the lord of Mithuna or Gemini is Mercury, but Gemini is an odd sign, so we'll be counting clockwise. Yeah. So counting clockwise, then we'll find our Buddha Mercury again in sign of Aquarius or Kumbha, but this time Mercury has gone 9 places away. Yeah, 9 places away from Mithuna. So our Mahadasha of Mithuna will consist of 9 years. Okay, 9 years. Okay, we've completed the Mahadasha of Mithuna or Gemini. Then we'll jump to the next Mahadasha of Mina or Pisces. Okay, Pisces is an even sign. Okay, Pisces is an even sign, so we'll be counting anti-clockwise to its own ruler, which is Jupiter or Guru. So counting from Pisces anti-clockwise, Mithuna 1, Kumbha 2, Makara 3, Danu 4, Rishika 5, then Tula 6, then Kanya 7, Simha 8, Karka 9, and Mithuna 10. We have found Guru or Jupiter 10 houses or 10 signs away from the sign of Mina. So our Mahadasha of Mina will consist of 10 years. Okay? And then we'll go to our very last Mahadasha, which will be the Mahadasha of Danu. Yeah? And that will be the completion of counting the Mahadasha years for our horoscope with Lagna falling into the sign of Vrishabha. Okay, so let's see what happens, yeah, when we try to establish the length, yeah, of the Mahadasha of Danu or Sagittarius. So Danu is an odd sign, so we'll be counting clockwise, yeah, to its own ruler. So here it is again Jupiter, yeah, and we see Jupiter has gone 7 places or signs or houses away from the sign it owns, which is Danu. So once again, this is an exception in Mandook Dasha. Whenever we found the Lord of the sign, yeah, 7 houses or signs away from the sign it rules or owns, then we do not give the 7 years for the length of the Mahadasha, because this is an exception. Then we will just give the 10 full years for that particular Mahadasha. And here we see our Jupiter Guru has traveled 7 places away from the sign which he owns, which is the sign of Danu. We found him in Mithuna, so in that particular case, the Mahadasha of Danu, which is our very last Mahadasha, will consist of 10 years. And that's how we completed, to count the years for all the Mahadashas, for the Lagna, for the horoscope in which Lagna falls in the sign of Vrishabha or Taurus. It requires obviously practice, to get with that counting, establishing the order of Mandook Dasha. You just need practice. In practice, when you practice more, it will be more familiar and very easy to establish the order of the dasha and to count the years, to establish the length of particular mahadashas. Okay. In the next video, obviously, we will take another example. Will be establishing the order of mahadasha, for the lagna falling into Mithuna or Jaimini sign. So we'll be establishing the order of Mandook Dasha. We'll be counting the years of each particular Mahadasha, but we'll do that in the next video. Okay, so at the end of this video, I would like to add one thing, just to remind for all those who are watching me. Okay, so this channel, is particularly dedicated to the astrology which you can test. What do I mean by that? Many people take astrology blindly. They try to apply different astrological rules or follow different astrological rules blindly without testing it on particular horoscope, without seeing if that really works. Here on this channel we focus on practical experience. Okay, here I do encourage all of you, every single one, to test everything, on the horoscope, the horoscopes which you've got in your possessions, to check, to figure it out if this astrological stuff works, instead of taking it blindly. The same, I'm just showing you how Mandook Dasha works. If you've got in your possessions, horoscopes on which you can apply Mandook Dasha, check it, check if it really works by practical experience. Do some work, don't take it blindly. Do not take any astrological rules blindly, just test it on your own, check if it works, and that's what I encourage to do. Do not apply any astrological rule blindly. No, you need evidence, in order to establish if something works or it does not. This is practical astrology, not theoretical. Okay, so here I'm just going to conclude, just going to finish. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode when we'll be establishing the order of Mandook Dasha for the Lagna falling in the sign of Mithuna, and we'll be counting the Mahadasha years for the sign of Mithuna or Gemini. Okay, thank you very much for watching. Take care. God bless.